I'm Shirley Nelson with OCV Control Valves, and today I'm just going to share a couple of quick slides with you on filter separator control valves. So the main functions and feature of a filter separator control valve is to work in conjunction with a filter vessel. So the filter separator control valve and flow pilot are connected to the filter vessel, and these are going to help prevent any water going downstream into your downstream line. Here's an exaggerated diagram of how the control valve and the float pilot work in conjunction with the filter vessel. So here we have the float pilot installed in the side of a filter vessel, and here we've kind of added a little bit of water into the bottom of the vessel to show the float is still down. So in our float control pilot, we sink in fuel, but we rise in water. So right now we're sinking because we're only detecting fuel in the bottom of the sump. And so this is connected to the control valve itself and is more or less telling the control valve, stay open, allow fuel to continue on downstream. You can also get a automatic water drain valve to install in the filter vessel itself to automatically drain that water out of the bottom. So here we're continuing our fueling. In this next diagram, we're showing a little bit more water in the bottom of the sump of the filter vessel, and the float has risen up a little bit, and we're still only flowing fuel, and the valve is in the open position, but we're also at the same time automatically draining some of that water out of the bottom of the sump. In this next slide, the float has risen all the way up because now we have even more water in the bottom of the sump. And this has now sent a signal to the control valve itself to shut down. So we have now stopped the flow of fuel and any water that may be in that fuel from going on downstream. So the float pilot itself that's in the side of the vessel can be utilized in a side mount or in a bottom mount. So depending upon the type of filter vessel that you have, whoever manufactures will determine if you need a side mounted or a bottom mounted float pilot. So ours are designed with a stainless steel block. This is all made of stainless steel with Viton elastomers, and it is mounted to each one of these float pilots that you see here. And so this block is essentially the main function of these float pilots. And they can come with a manual tester. They all come with a manual tester. And you can also sometimes have a weighted manual tester, depending again upon your system and what your customer requires. The float pilots themselves are stainless steel. The flanges can come in various materials, ductile iron, stainless steel, or even aluminum. These are rated for 300 PSI. And again, depending upon what your vessel is, that will determine which kind of float pilot you need in the side or in the bottom of your vessel. So the control valve itself this is our main control valve, and the basic 119 model is what we call the slug valve, and it's the main valve that's going to stop the flow of water into your system. So you can add additional functions onto that, and some of these are listed here. The first one is adding a flow control feature. So this is going to limit flow to the maximum rating of your filter vessel. All the filter vessels have a maximum rating, and we want to make sure we stay below that. So adding a flow control function onto the valve itself can assist you in that if you are concerned about exceeding that flow rate. The next function is rate of flow and backflow prevention, so the model 119-15. So we are controlling flow rate, but we've also now added on a check function. So this is going to prevent any reverse flow back through your filter vessel. We don't want any of that to go back and backwash through the filter vessel. The next option is adding a solenoid. So the model 119-580, so we're still controlling the flow rate, but we've also added a solenoid function on there that can interact with the interface probe. So an electronic interface probe can be installed on your filter vessel. This will communicate with the solenoid on the control valve and tell the valve to shut down. The other option you can do is, if you do not want to use a float pilot in the side of your vessel, if you just want to work with the electronic interface probe, that's an option. And then, so you're now just having the control valve itself, not the float pilot. And so install the electronic interface probe into your vessel. That will connect to the solenoid itself, and that will send the signal to the valve when it needs to shut down due to the amount of water in the bottom of the sump. So that's just a couple of quick slides for our filter separator control valves. If you have any questions, please post them here, or if you would like to contact us and ask for more information, we'd be happy to get that to you. If you would like extensive training on any of these control valves, we'd be happy to do that as well. Thank you and have a great day.